Good morning, America. It's the most faithful patriot in the United States of America, Steve Buck, your host this morning. Sorry we're 15 minutes late, but I will be going out of town for a minute, and I'm trying to get everything done, including bringing the great information that I have available to you. So, for those of you who haven't joined us before, um, this podcast right now, we've pivoted a little bit over the past couple months to bring you information about the status of the entire world, the status of the United States of America, and how, when, and why the shit is going to hit the fan in a major way. And these events will change the entire world that we live in forever. The world will never be the same, and that's a good thing. It's not going to be the same. And what I mean by that is that the satanic world controllers, the Illuminati, the secret handshake societies, all of these people who orchestrated slavery for all of humankind here on the earth, these people are going down in flames. They're being eliminated, and God's people, the people of the world, will be free. And when they are free, they will be free indeed. So, we're going to do a few different things today, and I'm going to pull up some references that I have for a couple different things. And the first thing that I'm going to pull up, and I'm just going to do this and show you on the screen just so that you can go and do it yourself. So, I bring up the website Q Alerts. Okay, Q Alerts intelligence drops right here. All right, and on this header, it says WWG 1 WGA, and what that signifies is that where we go one, we go all. That's kind of the battle cry for the patriots who are Q followers, and they understand the Q plan and they understand what's coming on. So I just pull up the Q website, okay, and they've got a search bar right here, and in the search bar, we're gonna pull up military, and the reason that I'm pulling up the military is because Q said this entire operation, this God operation, the only way that God could pull off this information is if he used the military. And it's not just the military of the United States, as I've stated on all my other podcasts. This has to do with the militaries of the United States and the 36 largest countries across the entire world who are working hand in hand to destroy the world controllers' cabal control system that they had over society. And so what I want to do is I want to bring it to the post. As you can see right here, it says that they found 126 references out of the 4,980, I think, posts. Let's see. No, it's more than that now. It's like no, it's almost 5,000 posts. Okay, and we are waiting for Q hasn't posted in several months, and we are waiting now for Q to start posting here again. But nevertheless, I want to bring you down to the Q post that talks about how the military is and was from the beginning the only way for God to bring forth this change here in the natural realm, in the earthly realm. Okay, he has to use people here in order to impose his will here on the earth and to destroy the satanic cabal. So I'm searching down through here, and we are gonna find it here pretty quickly. There's a lot of them, but right. So we go. No, I'm gonna go to the bottom. Work my way because of the fact that okay, here focus on military intelligence. Focus on military intelligence. What is military intelligence? And we've gone over some of these things too. Okay, military intelligence. Military intelligence. Who is the commander in chief of the military? This is a military sting operation. Why does the military play such a vital role? What is Mueller's background? Military. Robert Mueller is a white hat. He was on our team the whole entire time. It didn't look like it at the time, but we found out that he was. All right, so here we come up. Here, military control, great military. Guard forces accompanied by military intelligence. This period, military intelligence units. Okay, military. Okay, here it is. Right here. The 26th post right here, November 1st, 2017. Q tells us, think about it logically. The only way is the military. Fully controlled, save and spread. Once 11.3 verifies as first marker. Biggest advanced drop. Okay, so what Q is saying is that this is the biggest drop. This is the biggest advanced drop from, this was right up front. I mean, you're talking Q started posting October 28th, 2017. This is 3 days later. Okay. Q says this plan, it's a military plan. And if you think about it logically, the only possible way that they can pull off this plan is through the military. Okay. Because it's fully controlled. And when I say fully controlled, what I'm talking about is it's not the entire military, okay? It's the military component in the highest levels of the military. And I'm talking about the 11 combatant commanders, okay, across the different regions of the world and the different purviews. So there's 11 combatant commanders, okay? And the good, God-fearing, patriotic generals who work together as a cohesive package, they had to deal with all the woke idiots, generals, okay, and as Trump would call them, the TV generals, you know what I'm saying? walk around. They got all their shit on, their all the garbage that they put on and make themselves look important. They're not. They're treasonous bastards. Okay, it's the patriotic generals. It's the God-fearing men who were battling the deep state and the satanic cabal controllers. Those are the real generals, and those are the ones that God used amongst all the military. There's God-fearing men in all these militaries who are working and protecting we the people in our country and their country that they represent in their military. Okay, so Q told us that the military was the only way that God could bring forth this liberation of humanity. Okay, and now I want to shift over for a minute into why and how did the very clever, the very smart satanic cabal, how did they capture the world? How did they capture the United States of America? Okay, so we're going to back up to last week's message where I talked about the fact that there's two different types of law. Okay, you have your common civilian, everyday constitutional law that our country is supposed to operate in and under. When our country is in a state of peace, where we are not on a military footing, okay, and so 95% of the time, 98% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, our country is designed to run on a constitutional law, common law, peacetime provision, okay, which is the constitutional law. Things change when you have a war, and that's why we have military law, is because when you're at war, you cannot operate in the same fashion that you would operate in when you're dealing with reasonable people dealing with reasonable people through a common accepted law. Okay, when you're talking about military, when you're talking about war, okay, what war is essentially, it's good versus evil. All war, it doesn't matter what the war is, every war is good versus evil. It has nothing to do whatsoever about, countries and policy. That's what they'd like you to believe, but that's bullshit. And you need to understand that it's bullshit. Okay. Every war throughout all of eternity, okay, has the same root idea, the same root cause. One group of bastards wants to take something, one group of evil bastards wants to take something away from good people. That's the essence of what war is. So, once you understand what the essence of war is, okay, then you begin to understand that you can't possibly deal with these bastards on a footing of constitutional law or common good, because the whole starting premise is the fact that somebody else on one side wants to deprive somebody on the other side of their property, of their liberty, of their peace, of their prosperity, okay? And the only place that can come from is Satan and evil. So all war is a battle between good and a battle between evil. Okay? And somebody always ends up winning. Sometimes it's the good guys, sometimes it's the evil bastards. The evil bastards have been winning through very slick, very covert, um, very amnesia type conditioning of people. Okay, and we're going to get into more of that later. But I want to start on this premise of constitutional law and military law. So when you go to war and when you go to battle, okay, the good people have put in place a military the military law manual, the law of war manual. Okay, and in the law of war manual, it's an astounding read, which I would encourage you just to peruse it. You don't have to read the whole thing, but if you just want to peruse some of the law of war manual, it basically is a guideline for good people. Good people always follow a law. In peacetime, they follow the constitutional law. In wartime, we follow the law of war manual. Okay? Because God established the earth to run under law and under order, so that there was some semblance of a way to maintain peace amongst all people on earth. So, the law of war manual, what it does is it creates an equal footing for the good guys to go to war and to battle the evil bastards without having handcuffs on. Okay? You might say it gives the good guys the ability to take the gloves off and punch with bare knuckles instead of with a boxing glove. So, you've got constitutional law and you have the law of war manual. So, Abraham Lincoln was criticized for abusing the war powers of the president. And I submit to everybody that what Lincoln did, and what any president does, is to say, if he takes the gloves off, okay, and he wins righteously, then there's no abuse of power of the war powers of the president, because at the end of the day, out of 330 million people, he's the last guy. He's the last guy, and he's got to say, you know what? I'm the guy who has to make the decision for 330 million other people. My decision, the decision that I make today, is going to affect 330 million people. Okay? I don't even know if I've ever made a decision that's affected 100 people, let alone 300 million people. So we continue on. So when Lincoln was being criticized that he abused the war powers, okay, he simply said, you know, I had a decision to make, and the decision came down to one of two things. Okay, either do I play politics with Congress and waste time trying to get a consensus of a bunch of people who never come up with a consensus on anything? Or do I take decisive action and I do what I need to do to save the Union? and for Lincoln and for most common sense people is that you're the commander in chief. You do what you got to do. Okay? That's why a president has almost unlimited power. When it comes to war, when you're screwing with trying to destroy our nation, our president can kick ass and take names, and he's basically operating like a king or a dictator, which I referred to last week. So that's constitutional law. That's law of war manual. Okay, the president of the United States has unlimited. I mean, there's such few exceptions that they're not even worth talking about because of the fact that, he's the last stopgate to save the entire Union. So, if he's a good man, if he's a righteous man, and he's trying to save the Union, I don't care what you do, just get it done. So, how does that apply to the battle that we are in with the deep state and the world controllers, the satanic cabal? In order to understand that, what we have to do is we have to delve into how did we get here? How did the satanic cabal, how did they capture the United States of America, which is the shining light, the city on a hill, that is the beacon of hope for all humanity? How did they capture the United States after they captured, other countries and other places? Okay, because the Satanists, the Luciferians, they always want to control the high ground, because if you can control the high ground, then you control everything around you. Which means is that they want to control the high ground of everything that makes the world work, everything that makes business go round, everything that makes politics go round. So I want to discuss with you for a minute, what are those things? So what they do is they consolidate power. And the way that they consolidate power is through infiltration. Okay? Most people are good, honest people who they want to live their lives, they want to live in peace, they want to live in prosperity, and they just don't mess with me. Let me do my thing, you do your thing, and let's live in peace so that, we can get through the earthly realm here and do it in style. Because of the fact that most people are good people, they may not be religious people, but they're not, they don't have evil intentions. So most people are good. Most people have good intentions. Most people want to live in peace and harmony with their fellow mankind. The satanic cabal, the Luciferians, what they figured out and understood a long time ago is that we don't have to have 50% of the people be Luciferians or scumbag Satanists. We don't even need 10% of the people to be scum. What they figured out is they needed about maybe between 1 to 3% of the people to be useful idiot minions who would do any treacherous thing to harm any other human being that they asked them or told them to do for money. So what they did, they infiltrated, and because they're public companies, they could get CEOs and COOs and CFOs and everything. in big corporations. Okay. Then they infiltrated academia, and they got all of these, college presidents and admissions deans and uh, um, liberal, super liberal Satanist professors, and then they infiltrated the K through 12, and they got super liberal, super Satanist teachers within the K-12 system. And I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying is that if you take 8 billion people, okay, and you take, 1 to 3% of 8 billion people, well, let's see what we come up with. I'd have to use. All right. I think what is it, 80 million? Okay. So I'm just going to do the math on it just so that we have, 8 billion people in the world. And let's just say 3% are scum. 3% of 8 billion people is 240 million people. Just 3%. That's 3 people out of 100. Let's go down to 1%. We'll divide that by 3. That's still 80 million people. 1% of 8 billion. There's 80 million. So if 1 out of 100 people is a dirtbag, scumbag, satanic bastard, there's 80 million of them running around the planet. And they could be, these treacherous criminals can be anywhere from a CEO to all the way down to a drug dealer on the street. Okay? But that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with 80 million scumbags, okay, who Satan has for useful idiots to screw up our life and screw up our earth. All right? So understand the numbers, people. Infiltrate schools. Infiltrate churches. Okay? If you look at, let's go over here. Let's look at the Vatican. Hall stage. Okay. Look at the satanic garbage that they got. Look at this shit. Look at the satanic bat. Look at the. You could tell he just looks evil. Look at the satanic shit. This is at the Vatican. Let's go back to let. Here's a guy, right? Kissing the ring of the Pope. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Oh. All right, they don't. I'll say, okay, the audience hall. That's what it is. It's the audience hall. So Let's give me a second here. I guess I got to put it in just for what it. Okay. Serpent Eyes of the Vatican Hall. Oh, here's a good one. Why does the Pope Paul the sixth audience hall in the Vatican City look like a serpent? And what does this say about the intentions of the Catholic Church? Look at this. This is the architecture of the Vatican Hall, the head of the Catholic Church. Understand, people, that the Satanists have infiltrated everything. It's allegedly said that the Israeli Mossad purchased Jerry Falwell of the evangelical Christian arm of religion, his jet. Why would the Israeli Mossad purchase a jet for Jerry Falwell, who's supposed to be a God-fearing Christian preacher? Joel Osteen, he's just plain creepy. I mean, am I the only one who just looks at him and thinks, "Oh my gosh, you're just a scum"? He just drips of a. I'm not even gonna say used car salesman. I mean, he just drips of just. I don't know. Just I get a bad vibe from him. Okay, so they've infiltrated and they've honeypotted millions of people who now are blackmailed and they have to participate in, and they have to be the useful idiots, the minions of the satanic cabal. If you capture 1%, if you capture 80 million people, 1 out of 100, do you understand what you can do? How much damage that you can do in militaries and in schools and in colleges and in businesses and in religions and in the banksters, the banksters, the way that they've robbed from humanity. Okay? That's how they captured the United States of America. That's how they captured the UN. That's how they captured the Chinese Communist Party. That's how they captured the Russian Communist Party. That's how they captured Russia with the Bolshevik Revolution, okay, where they murdered the czars and the Christian-fearing leaders of Russia, okay, was through war. And as part and parcel to what I've been saying in my previous podcast is the fact that they've even gotten sophisticated enough that they used information warfare, okay, where they captured our media. And once they used information warfare to capture our media, then you had just good, God-fearing, maybe they're not religious people, but just people, they want to be left alone. They want to live their life. And they sat there for 70 years and they watched that stupid TV, and their television told them a vision. And when the television told them a vision, they believed that vision because, well, it's on TV. But It must be true. I saw it on the internet. It must be true. No, we've been deceived. We've been lied to. And we are going to be going through a very, very painful awakening process. And the military is going to have to scare the hell out of people, because that is what's been programmed into people, is to believing all these lies directly from the pit of hell. And I'm amongst you too. I'm not excluding myself. And I have to go through the same awakening process that you have to. And, 90% of what we've been told has been nothing but a lie. Religious leaders, teachers, politicians, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that we should be able to trust, okay? Most of them were giving us a line of bullshit. And so now we just have to leave the plantation of useful idiots, and we have to become good, productive citizens of the United States of America, because as the United States of America goes, so goes the world. So I hope to shed some light on some things for you today. We're done with our live. I will not be live for a couple weeks just because of the fact that I won't be here, but lots of great videos available. So please like our videos, share our videos. Please sign up for membership, especially on Rumble, because I'm trying to get to a point where I can go live on Rumble. So thank you for joining me. I hope I helped you make you a better, smarter person, and I'm on this journey with you. So things are going to be getting hot very quickly, and I'll get into that in my next video. So thanks for joining.